This is Thor. He's a wolf dog, and he came to us from Gwinnett County Animal Control about a month and a half ago. He was found outside of a house that was being evicted. So Animal Control got him, and then they brought him to us. And he went through quarantine, which we do with all of our new animals, and he also had to have a lot of dental work done. He was found tied out on a heavy-duty chain, and so, hi Apollo, and so he had worn down almost all the teeth on the right side of his mouth, and he had to have 8 teeth extracted, and he had to have root canals done. And when we first got Thor, we accepted him because we were sure that he would be a good match for Apollo. Apollo is another wolf dog, and he came to us a couple years ago. He was actually left at our gate, and Apollo gets along with everybody. He's been in with males, females, he's been in with wolf dogs and wolves and dogs, and he's just really happy-go-lucky, very easygoing guy. And then when we got Thor, we let other dogs meet him through the fence, both male and female. And then he also played with one of our working dogs, Dublin, one of the German Shepherds. And we realized that he was extremely friendly, extremely submissive and laid back. And so we knew that him and Apollo would be friends. Once Thor was healed from his dental work, we brought him up here to the enclosure. And because he had never been under electric fence wire before, we used bright orange flagging tape and marked the perimeter of the enclosure just to kind of get him used to the idea of the boundary of the fence. And it didn't take him long at all to figure it out. It's still up after about a week, just to make sure that he doesn't forget. We have to have 7 strands of hot wire at least with wolves and wolf dogs, because they will dig. They're avid diggers. They can also climb and jump really high, and so they have to have it. Another reason that they have to have it is because they chew on fencing. How Thor chewed on his chain and caused so much dental work problems. They will also chew on fence. They're just not meant to be behind a fence. Wolves do not make good animals in captivity. And as you can see, Thor is very, very affectionate, and he does act like what most people think is a dog. The only problem, well, not the only problem, one of the problems with hybrids is you don't know if you're dealing with the wolf or if you're dealing with the dog in them. Thor is very, very mouthy. Wolves are very mouthy. That's how they communicate. But I don't have thick skin like a wolf. So he's learning to be really gentle when he puts my hand in his mouth. He also marks on everything. Wolves urinate and defecate on everything to mark their territory. It's extremely difficult to housebreak a wolf dog. They also love to escape, they love to run, they love to dig, and they're really not fully domestic animals because they are crossed with the wolf. I see you back there. And so they don't have that bond that dogs do with humans to want to please you. They're very independent, they're extremely intelligent, and they would really kind of rather hang out with you and then go do their own thing. So when people get a wolf dog and think that it's going to act like a typical dog, they're usually pretty disappointed when that's not the case. And then what happens is, usually in the case of Thor, the animal is tied out or put in a small run or euthanized. Wolf dogs are also illegal in many states, including the state of Georgia, because they really don't make good companions and they can be quite dangerous animals. But you wouldn't know that by looking at Thor, because he is very, very sweet and very affectionate with his keepers, but he's definitely not what I would call a pet. He loves his enclosure out here. He loves being free and spending his days with Apollo, and then he likes when his keepers come and visit him. But he would much rather live this life than, say, to be in a house or be crated. When we first got Thor, we thought he was really young, maybe only 2 years old, but then after doing extensive dental work and reviewing the radiographs, we now realize that he's at least 6 years old. So this poor guy unfortunately has suffered for quite a few years, living on the end of a chain, but now we expect him to live a full and happy life here at Noah's Ark and be with his friend Apollo and just enjoy life.